call to order the meeting of the Parks, Aquatics, Recreation, and Golf Commission meeting for Wednesday, May 18th. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fogg? Present. Commissioner Lawson?
Present.
Commissioner Engelson is not present right now. So next is Commissioner Dorr.
Present.
Commissioner Jacks.
Here.
Commissioner Olson.
Here.
And Commissioner Reynolds is not present. Otherwise, we have a quorum.
Great. We'd like to welcome our new commissioner, Julie Lawson. Welcome aboard, Julie. Enjoyed working with Julie for a number of years, so it's kind of nice to have her back. Something like this. Okay, would everybody please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Okay, next item is approval of the minutes. This would be approval of the minutes from the November 17th, 2021 meeting. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion of approval of the November 17th, 2021 minutes.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fogg. Looking for a second.
I second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Dory. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Excuse me, commissioners, if you would please just speak a little bit closer to the microphone so they can pick up your voice, please. Thank you.
Item 2 is consideration of public comments. Those wishing to address the Parks, Aquatics, Recreation, and Golf need not request permission in advance. Action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directly staff to study the matter of rescheduling the matter for consideration and decision at a later time pursuant to Arizona Revised Statutes 38-431.
Chairman Jacks, no comments were submitted by the deadline this morning, nor is anybody present to make any public comments.
Okay, thank you. With that, it moves us on to reports. Director Mearsman, do you have any comments before we move into the reports?
No, we're ready to move into the reports.
Okay. Item 3A, open meeting law report. The city clerk's office and the city attorney's office will be presenting open meeting law training and parliamentary procedures.
Good afternoon, Chairperson Jacks and Commissioners. My name is Tanya Ferguson. I'm the Deputy City Clerk. I'm going to be giving you open meeting law training today, as well as we have the Deputy City Attorney is with us as well for questions, Amy Schreiber. So if you have any questions, just stop me. Open meeting law, general provisions. It is the public policy of this state that the meetings of public bodies be conducted openly and that notices and agendas be provided for such meetings which contain such information as it is reasonably necessary to inform the public of the matters to be discussed or decided. Towards the end, any persons or entities charged with the interpretations of this law shall construe or provisions of this law in favor of open and public meetings. General provisions. All meetings of any public body shall be public meetings and all persons so desiring shall be permitted to attend and listen to deliberations and proceedings. What does this mean? The public's business must be conducted in the public. Why open meeting law matters. It protects the public and preserves the right to participate in government. It protects public officials and maintains integrity of government, ensures a better informed citizenry, and builds trust between the government and citizenry. Who must comply with open meeting law? You. Public body is defined as the legislator and all boards and commissions of this state and political subdivision, all standing, special, or advisory committees or subcommittees appointed by the public body. This includes quasi-judicial bodies, examples of boards of adjustments, building, boards of appeals, etc. Subcommittees are any entity, however designated, that is officially established on motion and order of a public body, and whose members have been appointed for the specific purpose of making a recommendation concerning decisions to be made or considered, or a course of conduct to be taken or considered by the public body. What constitutes a meeting? The gathering, in person or through technological devices, or of a quorum of members of the public body at which they discuss, propose, or take legal action, including any deliberations by a quorum with respect to such action. A quorum is defined as a majority of the members of a board or commission. Vacant positions do not reduce the quorum requirements. What constitutes a meeting? Technological devices, but is not limited to email, Twitter, text messages, LinkedIn, website, blogs, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Elected officials should refrain from sending emails or other electronic communications to a quorum of the members of the public body. In order to avoid serial meetings, don't propose legal action to any members electronically. Refrain from using electronic communications to discuss with members matters likely to come before the public body for action. Splintering the quorum. A meeting must also occur when less than a quorum of the public body discusses a matter of the city business, or one or more members later discusses the matter with another member of the public body. Informing the public. No meeting may take place with less than 24 hours notice to the general public and each member of the public body. Agendas must include the notice of the date, time, location of the meeting, an agenda of specific matters to be discussed, considered, or decided at the meeting. Must contain such information as it's reasonably necessary to inform the public of the matters to be discussed or decided. The other matters must in some reasonably matter be related to an item specifically listed on the agenda. Only items specifically listed on the agenda or matters related thereto may be discussed, considered, or decided. If it is not on the agenda, it cannot be discussed. If a matter not specifically listed on the agenda is brought up during a meeting, the better practice and the one to minimize subsequent litigation is to defer discussion and decision on the matter until a later meeting when it can be properly listed on the agenda. If action is taken on an item not properly noticed on the agenda, that particular action violates open meeting law and it's null and void. Calls to the public. An open call to the public is an agenda item that allows the public to address the public body on topics of concerns within the public body jurisdiction, even though the topic is not specifically listed on the agenda. These are not required by state statute. You may impose a reasonable time limit on the speakers. Calls to the public. As a public body, you have 4 options during call to the public. Respond to the criticism after the close of the call to the public. Ask staff to review the item. Ask the matter to be placed on a future agenda so it can be discussed, or sit in silence. Call to the public is only permitted if it is specifically listed on the agenda. The public's rights. The public has the right to attend, listen, tape record, videotape. The public has no right to speak and disrupt, except during a designated call to the public or public hearing. Sanctions for violation. If a public officer knowingly violates open meeting law, the court may impose a civil penalty. This penalty can also be imposed against each person who knowingly aids, agrees to aid, or attempts to aid in violating open meeting law. If a public officer knowingly violates within the intent to deprive the public of the information, the public officer may be removed from office in order to pay attorney fees. All legal actions done by any public body during the meeting held in violation is null and void. Conflicts of interest. It is illegal to fail to declare a conflict of interest under Arizona law or to participate, otherwise be involved in discussion on issues or contracts where such a conflict exists. This covers all public officers and employees of the incorporated cities and towns. This also applies to private interest of public officials or employees' relatives. Find out ahead of time what conflicts are. In general, a conflict of interest will result in an officer or an employee of a city or town or relative of an officer of an employee is involved in a substantial ownership or salaried employment with a private corporation during business with the city. A public officer or an employee may sell equipment, materials, supplies, or services to municipalities only after public competitive bidding. Remote interests are so minor that you do not constitute illegal conflicts of interest. If you are only a remote interest in a matter before the public body, you can vote and participate in the discussion. And then it refers to the statutes there. And if you have any questions regarding open meeting law or conflicts of interest, please feel free to contact the city clerk's office or the city attorney's office. We can help you with those. All right. And we got one more. We're going to go over parliamentary procedures. All right, if I can get it to behave. There we are. Parliamentary procedures, the basics. What is a parliamentary procedure? It is a set of rules for conduct at meetings that allows everyone to be heard and to make decisions without confusion. Why is parliamentary procedure important? Because it's a time-tested method of conducting business at meetings and public gatherings. It can be adapted to fit the needs of any organization. It's important that everyone knows these basic rules. Typical meeting order: call to order, roll call, pledge of allegiance, approval of minutes, awards recognition, calls to the public, old business, new business, reports by staff, announcements by commission and staff liaison, and adjournment. A motion is a proposal that the entire membership take action or stand on an issue. Motions are how members express themselves. There are three basic types of motions that you will use. Main motion. The purpose of a main motion is to introduce an item to the membership of their consideration. They cannot be made when any other motion is on the floor and yield to privileged, subsidiary, and incidental motions. Subsidiary motions, their purpose is to change or affect how a main motion is handled, and it is voted on before a main motion. Incidental motions, their purpose is to provide a means of questioning procedure and concerning other motions and must be considered before the other motion. Motions, life of a motion. Make a motion, you second the motion, debate the motion, which is a discussion, and vote on the motion. Obtaining the floor. Wait until the last speaker is finished, address the chairman by saying, Mr. Chairman, wait until the chairman recognizes you, make your motion, speak in a clear and concise manner, always state a motion affirmatively, say I move that we, or rather than I move that we do not. Avoid personalities and stay on your subject. Wait for someone to second your motion. Another member will second your motion, or the chairman will call for a second. If there is no second to your motion, it is lost. The chairman states the motion. The chairman will say it has been moved and seconded, and that we thus placing your motion before the membership for consideration and action. The membership then debates your motion and may move directly to a vote. Once your motion is presented by the membership by the chairman, it becomes assembly property, and it cannot be changed by you without the consent of the members. Expanding on your motion, the time for you to speak in favor of your motion is at this point in time rather than at the point you present it. The mover is always allowed to speak first. All comments and debate must be directed to the chairman. Keep to the time limit for speaking that has been established. The mover may speak again only after other speakers have finished, unless called upon the chairman. Putting the question to the membership, the chairman asks, are you ready to vote on the question? If there is no more discussion, a vote is taken. On a motion to move, the previous question may be adapted. By voice, the chairman asks those in favor to say aye, those opposed to say no or nay, and any member may move for an exact count. By roll call, each member answers yes or no as his or her name is called. This method is used when a record of each person's vote is required. By division, this is a slight verification of a voice vote, and it does not require a count unless the chairman so desires. Members raise their hands or stand. There are two other motions that are commonly used to relate to voting. Motion to table. This motion is often used to attempt to kill a motion. The option is always present, however, to take from the table for reconsideration by the membership. Motion to postpone indefinitely. This often is used as a means of parliamentary strategy and allows opponents of of motion to test their strength with an actual vote being taken. Also, debate is once again open on the main motion. Parliamentary procedure is the best way to get things done at your meetings, but it will only work if you use it properly. Allows motions that are in order, have members obtain the floor properly, speak clearly and concisely, obey the laws of debate, most importantly, be courteous. And then there's some references to some of what we referenced in this parliamentary procedures. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Item 3B, annual election of chair and vice chair. Do I have any nominations for chair?
I'll nominate Roger Jacks to remain as our chairman for this commission.
Any other nominations? Okay. You got a nomination for Roger Jacks as chair. All those in favor say aye.
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 Chairman Jacks, do we
Yes.
have somebody who seconded the motion?
Oh, did we? No, we didn't. Do I have someone to second the motion on Roger Jacks as chair?
I second that motion.
Commissioner Dory seconds the motion. So now we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of Roger Jacks as chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. We move on to a nomination for vice chair. Have a nomination for Commissioner Fogg. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we have our chair and our vice chair. That moves us on to item 3C, Recreation Superintendent's Report. Before we do that, Director Mearsman, do you have any comments?
No.
Okay, so we will move forward then with the Recreation Superintendent Report.
Good evening. So we've had a great spring, is what I like to refer to, and moving into summer, we're already looking good for this summer. Our new program brochure came out a couple weeks ago. We have copies here, so as you leave, if you want to pick a copy up, I'll be right here on the table. As far as our dance programs go, this week we have our recital that's going to be culminating our spring classes. Our instructor did an amazing job this season. She increased her private lessons number of students by 50% and almost doubled our classroom participation as well. This summer, we will offer a 6-week dance technique program on various elements of dance, and it begins the week of June 6th. The fall season will begin in August and run through mid-December. As far as fitness classes go, our Zumba and our step aerobics have kind of slowed down a little bit, and body shaping we kind of had to put on a hiatus because our instructor was involved in an accident and was unable to teach. So as far as fulfilling our fitness ends of our department, we are making up with it on the activities on the sports end. So as far as our sports go, we had lost 2 of our recreation coordinators one in December 31st to be exact, and January 7th, a week later for the other one. So our sports season, we've recently hired Jim Hypes as our new recreation coordinator. He's been doing a great job with our sports and has been coming up with some really new ideas, and we're looking forward to those. Youth basketball that we completed in March had one of the highest numbers that we've had in several years. So our numbers were slowly declining, and this last season we went way above what we were pre-COVID. So that makes us feel real confident with our summer programs as well. The adult programs that we offered, the adult basketball and the adult volleyball, both ended back in March, April, and we both had successful seasons. We did struggle a little bit with sports officials, where he and I had to swap out officiating volleyball games on several nights. Our adult kickball league was canceled due to lack of registrations, but we also added a cornhole tournament on April 2nd that we had 20 participants at, and coming up here, we have another one on June 4th, and this summer we're implementing a cornhole league, a horseshoe league, both to help offset some of our adult sports. We also added a new teen basketball summer league to our element of sports and hope to recruiting those that are 13 to 17 years old. And right now, we don't have any registrations for it, but we're feeling confident. We have had several phone calls and a lot of people that are interested, just nobody has signed up yet, so we'll see how that goes. Our parks were extremely busy as well. It's not necessarily that our department fulfills all of the sports. We have Little League for baseball, girls softball, adult softball, soccer. We facilitate Lee Williams for softball. We facilitate Lee Williams and the Kingman Academy for tennis. We facilitate the Kingman Academy middle school and high school for baseball and softball. So our facilities were very, very busy over the last several months. So it keeps our office busy as well, because people are constantly coming in trying to get reservations, and our facilities just can't always accommodate everyone's requests. On the aquatic end, we've had our summer job interviews over the months of April and May. Those are coming to an end now. We also had our first lifeguard class last month. We had 11 students enrolled, which 10 successfully passed. We're in the process right now of offering our second lifeguard class. Beth Matthews, who was our other recreation coordinator, had resigned to go back to school teaching, but she did stay on board to help us with our aquatics division, which she took a high role in when she was our recreation coordinator as well. So she does have her certification. She's still the one who trains all of our aquatic personnel and does all the lifeguard trainings. Special event-wise, we had something that kind of popped up by surprise back in March. We added the Arizona Cardinals football organization, came to Centennial Park. They offered an event that was open to the public. They kind of called us 2 weeks out and said, hey, we're going to be traveling through town. We'd like to set something up in your park. What can we do? So I worked with them on that. We ended up having like over 500 people show up at Centennial Park. They had jump houses and a retired football player. They had cheerleaders everybody was taking pictures with. They were giving away a bunch of free stuff to everyone who was in attendance, so it was a great turnout for that as well. Our drive-in movie nights seem to be taking back off. On March 25th, we had Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then this last Friday, we had Sing 2. And I believe back with the Ghostbusters movie, we had something like 50-some cars, and this past Saturday, we had 42 cars. So to me, that's a positive turnout. We had our family camp out in the park over the weekend of April 2nd and 3rd. Families came out and camped overnight in the park at Centennial. We had supervision with park rangers all through the night, as well as police would come in periodically and check on vehicles and such in the parking lot. But that was a good turnout. We did a flashlight egg hunt because it was kind of close to Easter. They had all the eggs filled out in the park, and then they had to go look for them with flashlights. That was something new that was added to. We normally provide dinner, breakfast. Karen participated, so she was there. Our other coordinator that we hired was Sandy Abelana. She was actually one of our office attendants for about 5 years, and she did a really great job with all these special events. She's taken them on, and she's doing an amazing job, and I couldn't commend her any more than I have. I mean, Mike can contest, I think she's doing a really great job with everything. She's gung-ho about all of our programs, looking to start some new things as well. Coming up this summer, we will have our annual Family Carnival and Movie Night at Centennial Park. It's on June 10th. Carnival-style games and prizes will be part of the event, along with arts and crafts and jump houses, food, and such. Just on the other outside of things, we've had several vacancies that we've been trying to fill. Sandy filling the coordinator position, now left our office attendant position vacant, so we're still accepting applications for that. We've been down 2 park rangers for like the last year, it seems like year and a half, because as one goes, another one leaves, one comes, another one leaves. We just can't seem to keep them filled, and we've had a lot of applicants, just not a lot of qualified applicants. So we've been working really closely with our Human Resources Department trying to fill those. Not to mention, when our last sports season, we had to hire people to help in our adult and youth basketball program, so that took a lot of time filling those positions. We just recently had over 50 interviews that we did for the summer. That's to fill both the aquatics and the recreation end of things, which I kind of liked, because last summer, people weren't real interested in working, and we were really struggling trying to fill positions. And this year, we've had a lot. We did hire 37 new part-time employees to fill some of the day camp positions and the aquatic lifeguard positions as well. But other than that, we're looking forward to summer. I do know currently we are already sold out of several of our recreation programs for this summer. Our day camp is over half to 2/3 full, so we're not even there yet, and we're hoping that we will be back to the numbers that we used to be. Last year, we were only able to carry 24, maybe 20, 24 participants in summer day camp, because we didn't have the applicants. We had a whole whopping like 4 bodies that were willing to work, and that's a lot when you're facilitating for 20 people at 11 hours a day. So 4 people were the ones who basically held down that whole thing, and this year we'll have back up to about 15. So we're back up to trying to accept 60 participants. 1 week is already sold out, and 2 of the other weeks are like in the high 50s, so mid to high 50s. So we don't have very many spaces left in the 6 weeks that we do. So that's why I said I feel confident that we'll be back up to where we were years ago. So COVID hasn't really hit us too hard this year, so we're grateful for that. Any questions?
Questions or comments, Commissioner Falk?
The dance recital, where will that be held?
Kingman High School.
And what time is that?
It starts at 1 o'clock. It's this Saturday.
Thank you.
On a slight comment on that, hopefully nobody else will hear this before it gets out. It won't show? Okay, we just have a surprise that's going to take place. That's all I'll leave it as that. It's a really great surprise that it'd be nice. So if you're able and out and about and would like to go, it's a $6 admission fee, and we have 24 performances. Kids range from 3 to 19, and we actually recently added an adult jazz class, so our adult jazz class will also be performing in it as well. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
always amazed at how many programs that you offer and what a great job that you do with the staff that you have
Thank you.
every year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, that moves us on to item 3D, Park Superintendent Report. All right.
Jerry is zooming.
Zooming.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I just want to briefly say the screen that I chose to show tonight is actually our new boom lift. We finally got one. That was like a 1.5-year adventure. So we'll start with Camp Deal Loop. The American Compensation Experience, ACE, was back at the trails working at Camp Deal Loop. They put a new trail and divided the loop into 2. The divider trail splits the loop into 2 loops, a 2.4-mile west loop and a 3.2-mile east loop, adding a total of 1.1 miles of trail. The new trail is Camp Deal Lower Loop. It's a green level trail. It'll be great for kids, beginner mountain bikers, and hikers. The expansion added 0.8 miles of trail. Trail signs were installed at both and are both open to the public. Went on Metcalf. We have irrigation, turf, and dirt removed in the expansion area. We'll be adding new apparatuses, which includes a rock climbing wall, a free climb rock, and a spinner. A small tree was also removed and replanted in an area at Metcalf where we had lost a tree prior. And also we had 1 dead tree that we had removed. Our Arbor Day event, we purchased and established 4 Mondale pine trees. We pre-dug holes and inserted stakes, provided AV equipment, and participated in the tree planting. At the event, the tree bases were covered with wood chips and secured to stakes. On the safety training, we had an arched climber apparatus at Metcalf Park that we found had a head entrapment hazard and failing to pass the head probe, so it was removed. A tripping hazard at Wallach Ranch Park was grinding down on the sidewalk around Armada 3, and our parks assistant superintendent Matthew Golder completed his certified pool operator course and received his certification. All right, the pools. The baby pool at Grandview had its paint stripped, was repaired and repainted, is now filled and balanced and ready for the season. We had 6-inch butterfly valves used in filtration at Grandview pool. We had to have those replaced. The filtration pump at Centennial Pool went down. The motor, contactors, and wiring had to be replaced. At Firefighters, the storage building at Firefighters had the interior gutted and the roof removed in preparation for repairs. Now that building is now been set up now for storage, and we had a new metal roof that we installed, and the building was painted to try to match the other restrooms that are currently there. Cecil Davis, the rock area between the splash pad and ADA, or splash pad, are now ADA sidewalk were filled in with concrete to reduce maintenance time at the splash pad and protect drain from rocks. Our Adopt a Park program. All organizations except for one have adopted their park for over a year now. We want to thank all the organizations for their continued commitment to the community. Miscellaneous repairs and improvements. The racquetball court lighting at Centennial Park was upgraded to LEDs. The parks ended up renting a boom lift 6 times for various projects over the last 3 months, including cable replacement at Southside Park, tree trimming in front of a business on Annie Devine, and tree trimming at various park locations. All sports fields at Centennial Park have been overseeded, slip seeded, and rolled. Vandalized doors at Wallach Ranch's women's restrooms were repaired and replaced. We have new touch-free soap dispensers that we installed at frequently vandalized parks. These soap dispensers are housed in a steel utility boxes to prevent from vandalism. We've been having very good luck with those so far. Parks met with Asplin to discuss their company trimming the trees at various at the city complex and municipal courthouse. We also discussed their company maintaining trees on various other city properties Parks maintains. All right, the Colors of War Monument going in at Locomotive Park and the Veterans Park. We dug out and poured the footing for the new Colors of War Monument, and donations from Home Depot were picked up, and we built and core poured the center block wall and base, and was formed and ready to pour. Our vandalism. So far, our total vandalism for this last quarter was $3,310, and fiscal year to date is $10,090. Here's our breakdown of vandalism for the last 3 months. We have 9 instances of graffiti, 4 incidents of soap dispensers being broken in 1 or more restrooms, 10 instances of various broken or damaged assets, light bulbs removed from fixtures in restrooms, inside and outside building at skate park, both stall doors broke off women's restroom at Wallach Ranch, and 2 sections of green tube slide broken at the top at Wallach Ranch Park. That will conclude my presentation.
Do any commissioners have questions or comments?
I have a question. Jerry, could you say more about auditing the playgrounds and what that involves?
So our assistant superintendent, Matthew Golder, had just got his certified playground safety inspector certification. And so with that training, we started auditing a lot of our playgrounds and actually getting the tools that you use for checking for different safety hazards. And we found that one had a head entrapment hazard for at Metcalf, so we had to have it removed. It wasn't actually it was a very old piece and looked like it was something that was made a long time ago, not something that was actually ordered. But with his new training, we've been going around just double checking all our playgrounds. When they first go in, they're usually audited by the installer. We've been going around now that since he has that training and just double checking everything with the kit that we were trained on.
Okay, thank you.
I drive by Wallach Ranch Park quite often, pretty much every day. And that park gets so much use. It's really a shame that there's a small group that caused the damage that they caused because it is a very popular park.
It is, and what's really a problem now is part supply issues. When something gets vandalized, we have such a huge turnaround to get it back into operation.
Right. Any other comments or questions for Jerry? Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Moving on to 3E, Golf Course Superintendent Report.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you that I have not met, I'm Pat Friend. I'm the golf course superintendent at Surbat Cliffs. I'd also like to introduce Sam Hewitt. This is his first meeting, and he's our new golf professional. So he'll be doing a report this evening as well. I'll be honest with you, I ran out of the office really quick and left my notes. So if I skip something that from my report that I turned in that you want me to highlight, please just feel free to say so. I'm going to kind of wing it here. Some of the projects that we were completed over the last 3 months was the clubhouse entry project. That was done for customer safety and also for our building. We removed some obnoxious trees, and we figured out the roots were going into the foundation of the building. And also it was a trip hazard in that area for our customers that would access it numerous times a day. So we got that done, got the concrete poured. We were able to update the roofing on our cart facility. That was in dire needs for several years, so we were able to get that completed this winter. We've added climate control to the enclosed patio. That's kind of a big deal for us now. We've got several weddings in the books, and people are using this area, so it's nice to be able to roll up the doors and enjoy the outdoors or close them down and have heating and cooling if needed for events. We completed a satellite upgrade on hole 15. As I've stated in previous meetings that we've been in, the current satellite irrigation control system is being phased out completely by Toro. It's not a cheap process to do this, so we're kind of nickel and diming it together as we can and installing as we can, and obviously using parts from the older ones to keep those running while we can. So. We only had 2 mainline breaks, believe it or not. One was pretty significant on 2, and really it's not the way that we wanted to do it, but we installed a dry well in the dry pond between 1 and 9. I've discussed that before, and we got to test that out. Like I said, it's not the way we wanted to do it, but it worked out that way. So the dry well worked perfectly. Normally water would sit in that dry pond for months at a time, and we were able to replenish all that right to the aquifer. So pretty excited about that. Moving on to cultural, we've got numerous cultural practices over the last 3 months, fertilization of all different types. The biggest for us going into spring, obviously, is aerification of the golf course. We were able to complete that this year very successfully. Another highlight that I like to bring up is we have a invasive weed kind of taking over some of the greens. We get some complaints. We've been able to keep up on a lot of the spraying, low dose herbicides to really regulate that. And in fact, Sam just asked me earlier what happened to Fork, because he hasn't seen any in a while. So that means we're doing good. Another thing for us is we're trying out a new, as everybody knows on golf courses, gophers are issues. So we're trying out a new trap, and it seems to be very, very, very successful. I would say almost 80% at this point over the last 3 months of getting complete control. So we're really, really getting there. Let's see, moving on. Something that I'm super excited about, I was able to attend a golf conference for the GCSAA, Golf Course Superintendent Association of America, in February, and gain enough education points to be reclassified from a Class B superintendent to a Class A superintendent. And that takes a numerous amount of years and education combined, and I would like to personally thank Mike for helping me get through that process. He's been a great mentor. So,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Right.
It's a big deal for me. It's taken almost 20 years as a golf course superintendent to get there. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
Last but not least, I'd like to thank the maintenance crew and then also Sam and his staff for all their support and helping keep the golf course going. And I'd be happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Any comments or questions? I just have one question. The budget that you operate off of, does it allow you to keep up with the must-have things that you have to prepare and work on at the course?
I would say, as of recent, our city manager's been, very gracious as far as our budget. We're obviously, where we lack the most is labor, because we don't have inmates anymore. COVID took the inmates away from us, so we're down 120 man-hours a week just from that.
Wow.
So, but last year, the city manager gave me another full-time employee, so we're getting there. I mean, that's a hard question to answer, because I could always use a bigger budget.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think we're sufficing pretty well.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? No. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh.
I'm
But
sorry.
we do have a question.
I'm sorry, this is more for Mike because he's been there longer.
Mhm.
There was a time where they did not aerify the golf course. And when you came in and started aerifying, I'm sure he broke a lot of tines. Are there fewer tines broken now?
Well, you still break them out there, but it is. And we have a gentleman that samples our soil, and he notices even on the interior hole greens that how important it is to deep tine aerify, which we did for several years. And we're looking to get a new deep tine aerifier, which is going to really help us out too. So aerification and those cultural practices that you talk about are huge. And that's what I think helps keep the golf course nice through the year as best we can, So
The course looks great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Item 3F, Golf Pro Report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My first time here. Pardon my accent, I guess, from Texas. So yeah, thanks for having me. Love the golf course. Patrick and his crew do a great job. A lot of compliments out there. So just kind of starting out, we, for those of you who play golf, we got a ping fitting system. Ping is just one of the golf club manufacturers. They're based out of Scottsdale, so that's why we went with the ping fitting system. The advantage of that is we don't have to stock the pro shop with a lot of clubs. We can just have a fitting system and put different clubs on different shafts, and then order the clubs for the individual. We've ordered 2 sets. I think I'll have another one ordered next week sometime. So pretty cool. We switched from over to Cisco Foods because they didn't have a case minimum. The other company we had a 25 case minimum, and in the winter that just didn't make any sense. Jennifer Marshall, who is a resident here in Kingman, has been great. She works for Cisco, comes by every Monday and talks to me, and if we order something, she'll say, I have a better product at a better price. So she does a great job as far as that. We made the switch from Pepsi to Coke as well. A lot of, how's that? Sorry. A lot of customers were wanting Coke, especially for the mixed drink side, Jack and Coke and things like that. And they're going to help us out with advertising and junior promotions and things like that. Our junior camp starts June 1st. My assistant Haley runs that. I'll just be helping her out. She does such a great job. And I believe that's Monday, Wednesday, and then the play days on Friday. I'm starting a new adult program called Golf 101. If any of you are not golfers but would like to be, this will be a great way to get started. $99. We're going to teach you not just how to swing a golf club, but where to put the golf bag, what attire to wear, what to expect at a company outing, things like that. We want to take the intimidation factor out of golf and get you out on the golf course as soon as possible. And that starts Tuesday, May 31st. We have a lot of tournaments coming up. The Shuffler Tournament, June 25th, 26th. The Rotary Club Tournament, May 30th. We have a KMRC Cocktails at Sunset. It's not a tournament, it's just an outing, June 11th. The Mojave County Golf League started April 21st on Thursdays. We have a lunch and learn next week. So next Wednesday at 10 and 11. That'll be a pretty cool deal. We're going to have some good food there. One of the big changes we made, I wanted to make sure we had a starter on the first tee on the weekends, busy days. That way we can get, instead of having a single and a foursome and then a twosome and another single, we can pair people up and try to get the course filled up with foursomes. It goes better. They get to meet people. So instead of having 12 groups on the front nine, we only have 9 groups, and it speeds up the pace of play. Our biggest hurdle right now is the golf cars are breaking down. We have 70 in our fleet and probably have 45 that are running right now. So last I talked to the rep, he said he'll know something June 1st or the first week of June when we're supposed to get our new fleet in, unless you heard something I didn't.
Well, we keep hearing, and they tell us middle of June is what they said the last time we had talked to them. And before that, they said mid-May. And so we're hopeful that, you know, with the COVID, everything, getting parts and everything's been super challenging. And to keep the parts to keep them running has been a challenge. And just getting any equipment like Jerry's boom lift that he's got a picture of up there, that took us over a year to get. I mean, it's just, everything takes a long time when you try to order it and get new equipment. Vehicles, same thing. We're having a challenging time getting those, so.
Yeah, so we have that big tournament, Shuffler tournament, so I'm kind of making contingency plans there, make sure we have enough golf carts for that. Our next biggest issue is just probably like every department, personnel turnover, especially in the grill. Like Yvonne says, as soon as we get someone trained, someone else leaves. That's kind of how it works. But we have 3 interviews this Friday. Hopefully we can get someone hired. That's about all I have. Any questions?
Any questions, comments, commissioners? I have one question.
Yeah.
How many golf carts are you getting?
70, is it? 70?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Pretty much replacing the fleet.
Yeah, new fleet, yeah.
Wow, that's great. All right, thank
Thank
you very
you.
much. That moves us on to item 4, new business. Item 4A is Connector Trail Project linking downtown to the Uptown through White Cliffs Trail Phase 2 in the works. Director Mearsman.
Well, so basically this is a grant that I found out about mid-April. I found out about it, and I've been working real hard to try to get this moving along, but the connector trail will start at the top of 3rd Street, between 3rd Street and 4th Street, basically, and it will hook up to our Phase 2 project of White Cliffs Wagon Wheels Trail. And it will be made on right-of-ways. 3rd Street, if you go all the way up 3rd Street, there's a lot of it that's right-of-way that it will be on that area, and then it will connect to city property where the Phase 2 is. So this is part of an American Rescue Plan grant funding through Arizona State Parks and Trails, and the chief of grants emailed me about this, like I said, mid-April, and it's like, and it had to be a shovel-ready project, which we feel like it was because we've been planning on this for a long time and trying to get it all the ducks in a row to get it done. But we're excited about it. The right-of-ways, north-south right-of-ways are 80 feet wide, so that's a pretty good amount of space for us to do this in. The east-west right-of-ways are 60 feet, so they're not quite as wide. But this shows the connector trail that's been designed. It's been designed by ACE, American Conservation Experience, which has done a lot of the work on that we've done so far on all of our trails. And this is the construction of the trail itself is going to be $90,000. And this grant is a no-match grant, which is really awesome. I mean, it's a really good opportunity for us, I feel like. And we've budgeted $99,000 for the grant so we can include signage, kiosk, and a drinking fountain. And ACE, American Conservation Experience, is a state-approved contractor, so it works out really good with these type of grants too. The city doesn't even have to pay it. They pay directly to the ACE, to the company. So it's going to be a really cool project, and that's why I'm here to get your support. So due to the steep terrain there's going to be multiple switchbacks, which they have to really armor those up and build them up a lot. So that's why it's $90,000. It's only 0.8 of a mile, but it's a lot of steep grade that's in. I mean, if you're going up 3rd Street and you see that big mountain there, it's going to be going up and over that. So it's really, but I think it's super exciting. It's going to be linking our downtown to our uptown, which is going to be nice. It will tie in at the golf course eventually. So we're really excited about that too. But so it's going to take the crew a lot of time, 12 weeks, they figure, to get this trail built. And they're also going to be working on phase 2 this winter too, so that's exciting. What else? Oh, there's one parcel. If you look at this slide, you see where the trail's going to go. There's a parcel there that we don't own. And I've been in contact with the owner of the property, and they are interested in donating that property to the city, which is great. And we just have to get approval, basically, for us to cross our property. You see where our property is, where the trail goes across this way. That's our property, but just that little section isn't. So our property does meet it, but it's right at the corner. So, but they are willing to donate that section, so that's kind of exciting too. So basically, like I said, it's going to be built on streets and undeveloped right-of-ways, basically. And this is all the highlighted property. That's the city's property. And we're excited too. There's a parcel that you see with the arrow going to, that's a 1 acre parcel that's between 3rd and 4th Street, that the city-owned property. And we would like for that to be a trailhead in the future. As part of this project, it's going to tie in there. This trails will tie in there, but that we won't be able to construct the whole trailhead out of this. But there's beautiful views from there. It's right near Palo Christi School, and it's 1 acre. And what else is exciting about it? You see there's undeveloped right-of-way. Beach Street is the undeveloped right-of-way, which probably, I don't know if it'll ever be a street, but unlikely. But and we can use those streets and the undeveloped right-of-way behind it and the undeveloped right-of-way of 4th Street. We can utilize that property, us being the city, we can utilize that for our trails. And then if the streets ever do go up there, then the trail will just be at where it meets that property. So, but like I said, we're excited about this. This 1 acre parcel is kind of behind the houses on Beach Street. If you know where Beach Street is, there's a couple houses along there, and this property is right up there, and it's just beautiful views of downtown and the Walpi Mountains, and it's really exciting. Our Parks Open Space Master Plan in 2020, 70% of the respondents said that trails and connectivity to trails in our area is important to them. So we think it's important. So that's why I'm here to ask you to give this a vote of confidence. That's all, vote of approval. So we can move on and get the grant. And
Thank you.
That's what we're after. So thank you all very much. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions or comments by the board? Commissioner Fogg.
Near the wagon wheel, there used to be a lot of trash dumping. Are people still dumping their trash around there?
Well, there's a lot less, I'll tell you that. It's unbelievable the amount of, since we've done the work there at that trailhead and even Beal Loop Trail, there's so much traffic there now since COVID. A lot more people are going out hiking, and we're just seeing a lot of activity there, so it's a lot less. We have graffiti once in a while, which is unfortunate too, but we stay after that and get that stuff cleaned up. But there's just a lot less of that right now, knock on wood. But I think it's due to the traffic, and we've always felt that way. Where you can get more traffic at areas, it lessens the vandalism and lessens the dumping and anything else that goes on if there's other people around that can see it. So.
Well, I totally support trails because it gets people out and moving, and It's a good thing.
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome project.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
Thank you.
No, thank you. Looking for a motion where the commissioners show support for this project, which is the Connector Trail project linking downtown to uptown through the White Cliffs Trail. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the Connector Trail project.
Got a motion by Commissioner Dory, looking for a second.
I second.
Second by Commissioner Lawson. Do I have any discussion, comments? Okay, we'll take a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
That moves us on to item 5, announcements by commissioner members. First of all, Director Mearsman, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I've got a few comments I'll make real quickly. And I first of all want to welcome Commissioner Lawson and Sam to the group here. So appreciate having you guys. Commissions are something that's being addressed right now by, they're being assessed and looked at and everything, and there's possibly going to be some changes made. I don't think there's much that's going to be made to this one. They talked about having 5 commission members instead of 7, and I'm not sure where that's at. More to come on that, but that's being looked at now by the city, and we'll see what shakes out about that. But and Commissioner Reynolds has resigned, so we have an open position right now, and we have 2 terms. Commissioner Lawson and John Engelson's term end December 31st because you're serving a partial term, but we're really hoping that you're going to be reappointed. So that's how the things go. Sometimes we get appointments that are partial terms and they end quickly. So we're hoping to get those all refilled. So and we talked a little bit earlier about the challenges of employees. It's a challenge finding employees, and we're very fortunate to have the 2 employees that stepped up as part-time employees that are now full-time employees in the Recreation Department, doing a great job, Jim Hypes and Chrisandia Bellina. But they both are doing a great job, and we're pretty fortunate. And then we talked briefly about the challenge in getting parts and equipment and vehicles and the golf cart fleet. Those are all challenges that we're dealing with, and our guys are doing a great job, really. Another project we're excited about is the lights for Centennial Park are supposed to be delivered June 6th, which we're really excited about that because when they get delivered, then they'll get installed. So, and that's going to be new lights for the pickleball court, upgraded LED lights for the tennis court, new lights for the basketball court, and new lights for Field 1 at Centennial. So it's a big, big project, and we're excited about it and anxious to get it going. And I just want to share with you, I attended the Summit for Trails, Arizona Trails, May 6th and 7th, and it was a great event. There was over 100 people that are interested in trails and the construction of trails from all the different cities around Arizona. And it was really a lot of collaboration and sharing information. And I was called on to talk about all the exciting projects that we're doing in Kingman by Mickey Rogers, the Chief of Trails and Grants. And so I shared all the information about what we've got going on, which is very exciting. Also, at this meeting, I learned that the ACE team that is doing the work on our trails, they designed and built all the trails at Granite Mountain Hotshot Memorial Park. So they've done a great job there, obviously, and they've done a great job for us. But I told them when I saw them there, I said, I didn't realize you guys were famous. But it's exciting stuff. They do a great job. And I also, while I was there, I hiked the Red Rock State Park, and that's 260 acres and a lot of very well-constructed trails. And the project that we're doing, Phase 2, at White Cliffs Wagon Wheels, that's 230 acres. So I said, we're getting to be in pretty good company with what we got going on here. So it's pretty exciting. And just to touch a little bit on what Jerry talked about, the Beal Loop Divider Trail, really turned out awesome. And Beal Loop Lower Loop Trail, which is basically a beginner loop trail it's 0.8 of a mile, and there's 51 feet of elevation change. So it's not really It's great for kids on mountain bikes and people like me maybe on a mountain bike, so. But it's just, it's really a good starter trail. So, and what's really exciting is I go out there and they're getting a lot of use. I see the traffic on it, and I go out there and hike it sometimes, and I see the trails out there are getting a tremendous amount of use, which is exciting, really. And White Cliffs Wagon Wheels Phase 2 project, I'm excited about that. The $144,000 grant, we just received, last week, we received the signed documents and approval to proceed, which is awesome. That means we can schedule ACE to come in and build those trails. So those trails will be getting constructed this winter, this fall, this winter. They don't do it when the heat of the summer, really, when it's so hot. They don't work on the trails that much. But really exciting to get that. That's 5 miles of trails, 6 loops, like I said, and it's close to being as big as the state park at Red Rocks. So, but anyways, it's pretty exciting. So those are natural surface trails that for hiking and biking and American Conservation Experience, that's pretty exciting that they're really great people to work with, and they do a great job for us. And then the next meeting is August 17th of this group, so thank you all very much.
Okay, announcements by commissioner members limited to announcements, availability for attendance at conferences and seminars, requests for agenda items for future meetings, requests for reports from staff. No discussion on any of these items. Do we have any commissioners that have any comments? Commissioner Fogg.
I just wanted to comment that I did go on, do the camp out there at Centennial Park, and that was a lot of fun. There was the most participants ever at the camp out. It was an excellent idea. And I'm sure there's, with the new rec coordinator, Sandy, she's going to come up with some more new ideas. So
That's great. Commissioner Wilson.
Okay, I'm representing the Surbat Garden Club, and we have a certificate of appreciation for the City of Kingman Parks and Recreation, and I'm going to read this as long as I can read it. The Arbor Day Committee for the Surbat Garden Club would like to thank you and your assistance in making Arbor Day 2022 such a success. The Arbor Day Community Celebration, and I wish I had my other glasses on, and the tree planting on April 30th, 2022 at Cecil Davis Park could not have taken place without your help. By selecting the site, digging the holes, prepping the trees, delivering water, setting up the sound system, and overseeing the tree planting, your staff made the event possible. Each year we are gratified to have your amazing staff and your continued support. I'd like to thank Mike Mearsman, Jerry Sipe, Matthew Golder, Mary Gates, and all the others who were involved. Since 2002, Arbor Day activities have accounted for the planting of over 270 trees, thanks to the Parks Department. So. Okay.
All right.
thank you.
All right, and any other commissioner announcements or comments? Okay, we will move on to item 6, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I motion to adjourn.
Got a motion by Commissioner Olson. Looking for a second?
I second that motion.
And a second by Commissioner Lawson. We are adjourned.
Thank you all very much.